Did you know that accessing divorce records online in Maine can actually be completely free and a whole lot easier than you might think? Welcome! I'm thrilled to guide you through this comprehensive explainer today. If you've ever tried to hunt down public records, you know it can sometimes feel like you're trying to solve a giant puzzle where someone keeps hiding the pieces and then charging you for the privilege of finding them. But today, we're going to unlock the vault. We're breaking down exactly how you can navigate Maine's bureaucratic systems to find both historical and modern divorce records without spending a single dime.
Now, you might be wondering, why go through the efforts of hunting these documents down in the first place? Well, having access to these records is absolutely essential for a few very practical reasons. First up is genealogy research. If you're tracing your family tree, a divorce record provides incredible historical context. We're talking maiden names, marriage dates, and legal timelines that really fill in the gaps. Second, you might just need them for legal proof. Divorce records are frequently required when you're onboarding with a new employer, applying for spousal benefits, changing your name, or even filing joint income taxes to snag specific deductions. And finally, for the budget-conscious citizens among us, maintaining your own personal record keeping just shouldn't cost an arm and a leg, right?
Okay, let's dive right into this using a structured, era-based navigator. Today we're covering 1. Maine's divorce record rules, 2. Finding historical records free, 3. Searching modern electronic files, 4. Step-by-step search examples, 5. Offline alternatives in troubleshooting, and 6. Key takeaways and disclaimers.
Section 1. Maine's divorce record rules. To kick things off, we kind of have to introduce the villain of our story, which is Maine's bureaucratic complexity. See, it's not as simple as typing a name into a magical state database. Maine uses a highly bifurcated dual-track system. Basically, public records here are split into two very distinct categories. On one side, you've got vital statistics records. These are the official state-certified proofs of a marriage dissolving, and they're managed by the executive branch, specifically the Office of Data, Research, and Vital Statistics, or DRVS. On the totally other side, you have the civil court files. These contain the comprehensive litigation history. We're talking the petitions, the motions, child custody reports, and the final signed divorce decree. These are managed by the judicial branch at the specific trial courts where the divorce was actually adjudicated. So accessing one system is completely different from accessing the other.
And here's a crucial number you've got to remember: 50. Maine strictly enforces a 50-year privacy law on vital records like marriages and divorces. Under Maine's Disclosure of Vital Records law, a divorce certificate is confidential and restricted for exactly 50 years from the date it happened. During that half-century, only the people actually named on the record, their legal representatives, or immediate family can easily access certified copies. But the good news is, once that 50-year threshold is crossed, the record officially enters the public domain, which means anyone can inspect it for free.
And this brilliantly illustrates the cost contrast between the standard paid channels and the free workarounds we're focusing on today. A certified copy from the state, that'll cost you $15 right out of the gate. Using a third-party vendor like VitalCheck, add-on processing and premium shipping fees. Even asking the Judicial Branch Service Center to just do a manual archive search for legacy paper files is going to hit you for $20 per name per court location. And standard paper copies at a local clerk's office, $2 for the first page and $1 for every page after. It adds up fast, but there is a free workaround for every single one of these fees, and that's exactly what we're going to explore right now.
Section 2. Finding historical records free. So let's transition into the first era of our guidebook, looking at archives filed before modern court record keeping took over. The secret to successfully finding records for free is matching the exact year of the divorce with the correct database. It's like finding the right key for a lock. Here's your era-based timeline. For divorces way back before 1892, we use maingenealogy.net. From 1892 up to 1963, the digital Maine repository is your best friend, and you'll often pair that with Family Search for pre-1930 full case files. From 1964 to 2020, you'll actually need to go offline to local courthouse packs, and for anything post-2020, we jump back online to the Research Maine portal.
Let's look at those oldest records first. Before systematic state registration even began in 1892, divorces were usually litigated in the Supreme Judicial Court or sometimes even granted by the state legislature. Your absolute go-to online tool here is maingenealogy.net. It hosts this massive index of over 28,000 historical records put together by the Maine State Archives. And what's really fantastic about this tool is it has a phonetic, sounds-like search filter. Let me tell you, this is a lifesaver for getting past 19th century spelling and transcription errors. Once you find that index entry, you can actually go view the original handwritten court documents for free on FamilySearch.org. You just search their digitized microfilm catalogs for that specific county court.
Moving into the next era, we see how this builds into systematic state records. From 1892 to 1963, court clerks were legally required to submit annual returns of all finalized divorces. Luckily for us, these historical ledgers have been digitized into the digital Maine Divorce Index. We're talking high-resolution, downloadable PDF volumes, usually covering 2-year blocks. Now, while the information you get kind of depends on how thoroughly the historical clerk filled it out that day, these pages often reveal incredible details. You can find the names of the parties, the wife's maiden name, the exact date and place of the marriage, the date of the decree, and even the legal cause of the divorce itself.
Section 3. Searching modern electronic files.
All right, let's shift our focus to the contemporary era. Modern litigation files are handled very, very differently than those old handwritten paper ledgers. For recent divorces, specifically those filed from late 2020 onwards in active e-filing jurisdictions, the state rolled out a unified electronic court records portal called Research Maine. This completely replaced the older Odyssey system. By just registering for a free account, anyone in the public can remotely search for cases and view what's known as the Registry of Actions, or ROA. This gives you a really clear chronological timeline of the case filings, the date of the judgment, and the names of the attorneys involved.
Section 4. Step-by-step search examples.
Now, what's really interesting here is putting this theory into actual practice. Imagine you're researching a divorce that happened in Oxford County back in 1957. Here is exactly what you do. First, you navigate to the Digital Maine Divorce Index collection online. Second, you look for the specific volume covering 1957. Our sources note this is volume 34B, which covers Oxford to York counties. You download that massive PDF right to your computer. Third, you open it up and scroll down to the Oxford County section. Since there's no magic global keyword search here, you have to do a manual structural lookup. Finally, step 4, you just scroll through the alphabetically sorted plaintiff surnames in Oxford County until you find your target individual's index entry. It takes a little patience, sure, but it's 100% free and incredibly rewarding when you spot it.
Now, if you're looking for a much more modern case, say one finalized in 2022, your workflow looks like this. Step 1, access the Research Maine portal online. Step 2, go ahead and register for a free user account. Step 3, use the search bar to look up either the plaintiff or the defendant's first and last name. Step 4, click right on the case file to review that Registry of Actions timeline we talked about. Keep in mind, though, while the timeline and the docket entries are totally public, highly sensitive documents like financial affidavits or child custody evaluations are going to be restricted.
Section 5. Offline alternatives and troubleshooting.
But what happens when your online search hits a brick wall? Because it happens. There are some specific geographical and chronological barriers researchers face in Maine. Here are the most common roadblocks you might run into. First, if you're looking for a pre-1892 divorce in Lincoln County, you actually won't find it on maingenealogy.net. Those specific historical records were excluded from the central index and are physically kept in Wiscasset. Second, while you can find index returns online up to 1963, if you want the complete, detailed original court case file for any divorce from 1930 onwards, those were never transferred to the state archives. They reside strictly at the local trial courts. And third, we have what I call the dark era. 1964 to 2020. Records from this massive stretch of time are paper indices and legacy files that offer literally zero remote online viewing options.
So how do you beat that dark era and avoid those per-page printing fees from modern court files? The ultimate offline hack is the Public Access Computer, or PAC terminal. If you visit a courthouse where e-filing is currently active, you can sit down at a PAC terminal and pull up full electronic case files. You can view every public document without spending a cent. And here's the best part. Under active e-filing rules, if you ask the clerk to print electronic documents to paper for you right there on site, it is completely free of charge. You literally bypass those $2 a page fees entirely just by showing up in person.
Section 6. Key takeaways and disclaimers.
So the crucial point is that while Maine's system is definitely split and a bit complex, the pathways to free information are clearly defined once you know where to look. Let's do a rapid-fire recap of the zero-cost workflow. Always start by establishing the exact year of the divorce. This dictates your entire strategy. Remember that 50-year privacy rule? You are not going to easily get certified vital records newer than that unless you're a direct party. Navigate to maingenealogy.net for pre-1892, Digital Maine for 1892 to 1963, and Research Maine for post-2020. And whenever you're dealing with modern electronic decrees or trying to bridge that 1964 to 2020 gap, utilize those physical courthouse PAC terminals to view and print records for free.
Before we completely wrap up, just a quick professional disclaimer. Legal guidelines, privacy statutes, and court rules can and definitely do change over time. While this explainer provides a highly comprehensive snapshot of current free access methods based on our source material, you should always verify the information in current procedures directly with official Maine state sources, like the Judicial Branch or the Office of Data, Research, and Vital Statistics, just to ensure you're fully complying with all legal and privacy requirements.
Which brings us to the end of our journey today. You now have the exact roadmap, the historical timeline, and the cost-free workarounds you need to navigate the bifurcated bureaucracy of Maine's record system. You know the portals to check, you know the physical courthouse hacks, and you know the privacy laws inside and out. So, are you ready to bypass the fees and unlock Maine's historical and modern divorce records for yourself? Dive in, start your search, and happy researching.